Su King had been married to Xiao Yi for many years, and their once stable marriage gradually fell apart. Privately, Xiao Yi provided long-term financial support for a female college student named Lin Wanwan. He frequently stayed out all night under the excuse of accompanying and taking care of the young girl. When Su King questioned their ambiguous relationship face to face, Xiao Yi showed no trace of guilt. Instead, he shifted the blame to Su King, accusing her of having a dirty mind and twisted thoughts. He insisted that his connection with Lin Wanwan was nothing more than a pure charitable sponsorship. Moreover, he sternly demanded that Su King must never trouble Lin Wanwan. His blatant double standards on cold selfishness completely shattered Su King's heart. Disheartened and disappointed, Su King chose to stop enduring silently and fought back in the exact same way. She took the initiative to select and financially support a handsome young male college student with an outstanding appearance. Late one night, Xiao Yi sent a message as usual, informing Su King that he would stay overnight to look after a feverish Lin Wanwan. He repeatedly emphasized their innocence, trying to shape himself into a kind and responsible man. At that moment, Su King was leaning comfortably in the arms of her young sponsored college student. Faced with Xiao Yi's hypocritical explanations, she responded inferently and perfunctorily. During the phone call, soft and faint noises from the young man beside her drifted into the receiver, instantly igniting Xiao Yi's rage. He flew into a frenzy, sharply questioning where Su King was and who was with her, ordering her to come home immediately. Calmly, Su King told Xiao Yi that she was also sponsoring a poor male college student. Since the young man was feeling unwell, she stayed to take good care of him as his sponsor, repeating every excuse Xiao Yi had used for Lin Wanwan word for word. Xiao Yi could not accept that his wife had done the exact same thing. He ranted and raved, issuing unreasonable orders and revealing his extreme double standards. Tired of his tedious moral preaching, Su King hung up the phone directly and ignored his non-stop incoming calls and messages. The next day, Su King returned home unhurriedly after sleeping in late. Xiao Yi sat on the sofa with a dark, gloomy expression. The moment he saw her, he stood up abruptly and berated her harshly. He condemned her for staying out overnight and lacking self-respect, demanding that she cut off all contact with the young male student at once. He completely turned a blind eye to the fact that he had spent countless nights away from home for another woman. Whoa! King parroted Xiao Yi's previous excuses without hesitation, stating that she only shared a pure sponsorship bond with the young man. Though he looked strong and robust on the surface, he was innocent and vulnerable at heart, and she was merely fulfilling her duties as a sponsor. Xiao Yi trembled with anger, yet he remained trapped in his self-righteous delusion. He stubbornly believed that all of Su King's resistance and rebellion stemmed from jealousy and petty anger. He was convinced that she was only trying to force him to abandon Lin Wanwan, a desperate attempt to hold on to him because she could not live without him. With an arrogant and condescending attitude, Xiao Yi laid down his terms. He declared that he would never stop supporting Lin Wanwan, and the only thing he asked was for Su King to compromise, give in, and sever ties with her sponsored male student. He climbed onto a high moral horse, lecturing Su King arrogantly, criticizing women for acting on impulse and lacking propriety and reason. Disgusted by his narcissism and double standards, Su King proposed a simple solution. They would not interfere with each other, and each continue their own sponsorship freely. Seeing that Xiao Yi insisted on shielding Lin Wanwan and belittling her without mercy, Su King completely let go of her lingering affection for this marriage. She no longer longed to salvage their broken relationship. Instead, she made up her mind to plan for her own future, determined to take advantage of Xiao Yi's weaknesses, to seize valuable resources and build up her own strengthened career. In the days that followed, Su King enjoyed a relaxed and comfortable life with her gentle and considerate sponsored male college student. She was taken good care of in every detail, living a carefree and satisfying life. Unable to bear such a huge gap and imbalance, Xiao Yi took the initiative to come to her for a confrontation. He publicly humiliated the young man and demeaned their relationship in harsh words. When forced into a negotiation, Su King saw through his fatal flaws, extreme vanity, and an overwhelming desire for face. She knew perfectly well that he could never tolerate being outshone and challenged by his own wife. Still convinced that Su King was only acting out of spite and petty revenge, Xiao Yi thought he held all the bargaining chips. He offered a superficial compromise, promising to reduce unnecessary contact with Lin Wanwan in exchange for Su King's submission and obedience. However, Su King had long since stopped caring about his messy affair with Lin Wanwan. She cut to the chase and demanded the prime land in the east of the city under Xiao Yi's name. This plot of land boasted hundreds of billions of yuan in potential appreciation value and was one of his most core and valuable assets. Xiao Yi tried every means to refuse and delay. He attempted to send her a large sum of cash to settle the matter and used issues of qualification and enterprise procedures to make things difficult for her. To his shock, Su King had prepared everything in advance. She had already registered her own independent, completed all the planning and procedures required to take over the land assets. Cornered and helpless, Xiao Yi had no choice but to compromise. He agreed to transfer the East City land to Su King on the condition that she completely cut off all contact with the young male college student forever. Su King agreed without hesitation. She gave the young man a generous financial compensation that would secure his life for good, ending their sponsorship relationship amicably and properly. With the core land successfully in her possession, Su King's new company took root and developed rapidly. Relying on the strong influence of her natal family, her top-tier university education, and abundant personal connections and resources, her enterprise quickly got on track and achieved steady growth. On the contrary, after the news of the land transfer spread, Lin Wanwan was filled with dissatisfaction and resentment. To soothe his mistress's emotions, Xiao Yi indulged himself in romantic pleasures even more recklessly. He neglected his company's operation and management, handing over all corporate affairs to his assistants and losing himself in the gentle trap woven by Lin Wanwan. Seizing this golden opportunity, Su King made precise strategic moves, poaching a large number of Xiao Yi's core business partners step by step and quietly eroding his commercial territory. Once addressed respectfully as Mrs. Xiao by everyone, she gradually transformed into the powerful and authoritative President Su, admired and feared by all. It had taken her 5 years to be a full-time housewife confined to the family, yet only 3 months to break free from the shackles and define her own identity and value. As her career entered a rapid growth stage, Su King's company encountered development bottlenecks and urgently needed to expand into overseas markets to achieve breakthrough growth. Meanwhile, in order to pave a smooth future path for Lin Wanwan, Xiao Yi took her to high-end commercial banquets and introduced her to numerous high-level resources and contacts, unintentionally creating a perfect opportunity for Su King. She resorted to her old tactics and found a new clingy, soft and cute young male college student as her new sponsored partner to provoke and irritate Xiao Yi on purpose. As expected, Xiao Yi flew into a rage the moment he heard the news and rushed to question and pester her again. Faced with his accusations and reprimands, Su King responded calmly, still using the excuse of pure charitable sponsorship to refute his criticism. Xiao Yi habitually made excuses for Lin Wanwan, claiming that he only wanted to plan a stable future for the young girl and accusing Su King of being petty, jealous and unreasonable. Su King repeated the hypocritical remarks Lin Wanwan had once used against her, using the classic retort that a dirty heart sees everything is dirty to expose Xiao Yi's outrageous double standards. Xiao Yi tried threats and inducements to force the clingy young man to leave on his own, but he was firmly rejected, leaving him utterly humiliated and defeated. With no other options left, Xiao Yi had to sit down for a negotiation and ask directly what Su King wanted. Seizing the chance, Su King demanded that he arrange a formal connection with Lucy, the top overseas business partner who dominated the foreign market, to help her company break into international markets. Still filled with arrogance and contempt, Xiao Yi underestimated Su King's ability. He firmly believed that even with an introduction, she would never succeed in securing the cooperation. Thus, he agreed casually, only willing to make a simple connection without offering any practical help or recommendation, secretly waiting to watch her fail and suffer embarrassment, contrary to his expectations. With her mature business vision, rigorous working style, and sincere attitude of respecting every partner, Su King reached a smooth and pleasant cooperation negotiation with Lucy. She successfully signed the overseas cooperation contract, fully opening up the international market for her company and driving its scale to expand once again. Trapped in his own sense of superiority and conceit, Xiao Yi always naively thought that all of Su King's efforts and career progress were nothing but petty jealousy and attention-seeking tricks aimed at him. He even deliberately let some business resources flow to her to satisfy his distorted vanity and desire for control. Under Xiao Yi's careless negligence and blind self-confidence, Su King expanded steadily and continuously seized market resources. Xiao Yi's enterprise suffered a sharp drop in turnover and gradually declined into decline. Was not until his industry was on the verge of collapse that Xiao Yi finally woke up to reality. He clearly realized Su King's careful long-term planning and how she had risen strongly by leveraging his own resources and mistakes. With his career in ruins and power slipping away, Xiao Yi put aside all his pride and came to Su King's company to beg for reconciliation. Watching Su King sitting steadily in the chairman's seat, dressed in formal business attire with neat hair and a cold, powerful and calm aura, Xiao Yi felt a strong sense of strangeness, mixed with renewed possessive desire. He suddenly claimed to have realized his true feelings, pouring out false words of love and regret. He hoped to repair their broken marriage, proposed a merger of their two companies, and tried to persuade Su King to return to the comfortable and leisurely life of a wealthy wife. However, the wounds left by betrayal could never be healed. Su King had long let go of all past romantic feelings and delusions. She took out a well-prepared divorce agreement without hesitation and insisted on ending their marriage completely. Unwilling to accept his failure and downfall, Xiao Yi refused to face reality and insisted that her every move was driven by lingering love and hatred. Faced with sufficient evidence of his long-term extramarital affairs and Su King's firm and tough attitude, Xiao Yi flew into a furious rage and had no choice but to sign the divorce papers in the end, officially ending their years of marital relationship. After the divorce, Xiao Yi spared no effort to save his failing company, yet he reaped the consequences of his usual arrogance and rudeness. He had always treated business partners with a condescending and domineering attitude, so when he was reduced to begging for help, he was met with widespread cold shoulders and deliberate difficulties. With no way out, the Xiao family decided to resolve the crisis through a commercial marriage, arranging for Xiao Yi to marry the young lady of the powerful Zhang family. Upon learning the news of his engagement banquet, Su King remained calm and sent him a heavy and explosive wedding gift. At the grand engagement ceremony, Lin Wanwan's pregnancy ultrasound report and a large number of intimate private photos of Xiao Yi and her were projected on the large screen in front of all distinguished guests. The truth of Xiao Yi's long-term extramarital affair and hidden mistress was exposed to the public in an instant. The young lady of the Zhang family had a strong and decisive personality. She tore up the engagement agreement on the spot and left without hesitation. Xiao Yi's reputation was completely destroyed overnight, cutting off all his social connections and business paths. Forced by overwhelming public opinion and realistic pressure, he had no choice but to marry Lin Wanwan, who was carrying his child. In the end, Xiao Yi's company was fully taken over by his family. He lost all his wealth and power, reduced to an ordinary middle-aged man. He was exiled to a remote courtyard to live a desolate and impoverished life. Stripped of wealth and status, the trivialities of daily life and financial hardship completely destroyed the false tenderness between him and Lin Wanwan. Their conflicts intensified day by day. Unable to endure a poor and hopeless life, Lin Wanwan finally left with their child without looking back. She abandoned the down and out Xiao Yi, leaving him alone to live in endless regret, loneliness and decline. A complete loser in life. Free from the shackles of an unhappy marriage, Su King held solid career foundations and abundant wealth, living an independent, confident and unrestrained life. She no longer relied on any man for survival or happiness. She firmly grasped the initiative of life in her own hands. Occasionally, she selected good-looking and pleasing young college students for casual sponsorship, merely as a simple pastime and entertainment. She chose never to remarry or fall into emotional bondage again. After experiencing betrayal, painful counterattacks, desperate growth and thorough transformation, Su King bid farewell to her humble and dependent past forever. She eventually became the master of her own life, powerful, free and able to live as she pleased.